Now, actor Shahana Goswami star Santosh has been selected as the UK's official entry for the 2025 Oscars. Set in rural North India, Santosh follows a 28-year-old widow who becomes a constable after her husband dies. Her life changes when a charismatic feminist inspector recruits her to investigate the murder of an underage girl from a lower caste. And to discuss this further about her journey and the big accolade that may be in line for her, I am joined by actor Shahana Goswami herself. Good afternoon, Shahana. Thank you for taking our time and joining us over here at Mirror Now.
Good
At the very
afternoon.
outset,
Thank you for having me.
congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Uh, Take us through your journey and how you came on board with this particular project. And when you came on board, saw the movie, was there any wish, any inkling that it would make a cut for a prestigious international award competition like Oscars?
I mean, to be honest, I don't think I think that ahead when I'm doing projects. The first point of interest is always your own intrigue to the story, both as an audience and then, of course, as a performer for towards the character, towards that storyline. And Santosh is a brilliantly written script. Sandhya did a fabulous job of writing an exceptionally subtle, beautiful script from the eyes of the titular character of Santosh, but essentially showcasing what I say, holding a mirror up to the society, and for you to see what you see in that mirror. And so I was immediately drawn to it. How it came to me was actually, in this weird kind of coincidental way where Sanjay Bishnoi, who's there right now on screen, was there for the screening of Zwigato with Mukesh Chabra, who was doing the casting for the project. And they saw Zwigato, and literally the next day they asked me to come in to meet Sandhya and to audition with her. And before I knew it, I was in the middle of shifting houses and things, and I was asked to come in a couple of times and meet Sandhya and do chemistry tests with different actors, including, of course, Sunita Rajwar, who then eventually became Sharma. And and suddenly I was told that I was selected, and there was a lot of nerves, of course, but a lot of I was very happy to be a part of such a great script.
Absolutely. Well, we are waiting to watch Santosh as well, Shahana. But what are the apprehensions? Because clearly, as far as you are concerned, how does it feel to be pitted against one of your own, as even Lapata Ladies has managed to make an international cut and be there from India as the official entry? How does that feel at all?
I mean, I don't see it as being pitted against. I always feel like the more the merrier. Whoever wins, if any of us manage to get there or both manage to get, that's a great victory, and it's worth celebrating nonetheless. So, the more the merrier, I would say. And Lapata Ladies, I still haven't watched the film, sadly, but I am very deeply connected to the people involved in it. I've always had great admiration and love for Kiran, both as a filmmaker and as a human being. And Tanaji, who's one of the producers, is a very, very dear friend. So it's really a cause of celebration at so many levels. And, I really wish the best to both the films, and we'll see how it goes. But at this point, I feel like it's important enough to celebrate the fact that we at least stand a chance to be shortlisted, and we've managed to make it this far.
Of course, but also the fact that how women-centric movies have been picked up by the Oscars, both from India and from UK. What does it talk about it? Do you think the international film audience, the film lovers, are being somehow drawn to the raw tales of rural India?
I think good storytelling has always been the pull. And I think today it's commendable that we have more voices, which include female voices, which we've had less of previously. But more essentially, I think it's because they're good stories. Lapata Ladies, even though I haven't watched it, I've heard it's a beautiful film. It's hilarious. It's poignant. And similarly with Santosh, it's very subtle and quiet and not beating down on anything specifically with a kind of hard hand, but like I said, just kind of showcasing what is around you and allowing you to reflect on that. So I think when you have really good, when the focus is really on good storytelling, that's really what the pull and the draw can be. And we're just in a beautiful era right now where those voices are also coming from women and the stories are also being told about women. So, but I feel like it's essentially about great character building, good storytelling, and I would like to see that across the board. Irrespective of who the makers are and who the actors are, whether they're male or female or any other gender or any other community that is being depicted. The essential requirement is an honest storytelling.
Absolutely. But Shahana, just looking back to your journey from Debbie in Rock On to now Santosh, if you can take us through how that journey has been. You've given us some very very cherished characters to remember. Now you are this gritty policewoman in Santosh, but you were Debbie also at some point. So take us through that journey.
I mean, it's an actor's dream to be able to do very different kinds of roles and play, different age groups, different challenging roles, different personalities, and I think I've been really lucky and been selective in terms of trying to not get typecast and do the same old. Mainly because I get bored and I like to be able to grow and you only grow when you grow through doing something different, something that feels challenging. So, but I've been extremely lucky in my entire journey where being somebody who's an outsider who does not belong to this industry, doesn't have any connections to it, I have been very welcomed by the industry, by everybody that I've ever worked with. There's been a lot of love and appreciation for what I've done towards me as an artist and as a human being, and the collaborative journey with people, whoever I've worked with across the board, whether it was the more commercial films or the more independent, unknown, lesser known directors that I've worked with. It's been a wonderful journey of being able to have um, choice. I've got great things offered to me without without constantly being in the public eye or having PR or things that don't necessarily resonate with me at this time, and I don't feel comfortable or the need to do that. And I've not had the need to do that also because there's always been the kind of work that I would like to do come towards me. And what makes that happen, I can't say, but I'm really grateful for that. And like you said, I when I look back at my career as well, I appreciate the fact that there's been so many different kinds of shades and characters that I've ended up playing. And that's what keeps it fresh and new for me. And even though it's been almost 20 years that I've been in the business, I've also still, I'm new to people. A lot of people still are yet to discover me, which is a great feeling because that means you're not jaded, or people are not jaded with an idea of you as an actor, as a performer. And I'm still new in certain parts of the world, certain countries, even within India. There are people who only know me and know of my journey from a Bombay Begums or a Hush Hush or things that I've done more recently because it's a different generation. So I appreciate this constantly evolving, shifting, changing journey that I've had. And I'm so grateful for the opportunities that have come and towards myself for my instinct to choose these things that feel right to me.
Absolutely, Shahana. Clearly, you have not saturated yourself and you have often told the untold story of women. Even if it's a strong character that you are playing, it may not have a lot of screen time, but it sticks with the audience. Do you think that the stories of women need to be told a lot more? Urban women, rural women, that it's time that people wake up and hear them out, because you're also part of a movie that has been directed by Sandhya Suri. So women clearly taking charge.
See, I believe in a sense of fluidity that can allow a fluidity that exists with a larger parameter of equilibrium. Equality is not something that I believe in because nothing in nature is equal. But yes, there should be balance, which is a larger sense of equilibrium, where you do not feel that one particular gender, community, storyline, narrative, perspective is not seen at all. So that I think is an important necessity. Beyond that, I do feel like yes, there should be more female voices, more female characters shown on screen, and it started happening. And I think, I mean, my own career, I always give that as example. If you look
Yes.
at my IMDb, I have worked with more than 50% of my directors are female directors, and I've worked in over 35 projects. So, and most of them are Indian or from the subcontinent. So that itself is huge. I mean, I'm lucky, and I know I'm an anomaly in that sense, but at least half of my career has been with female directors, with female storytellers, with female driven stories and characters that I've got to play. So, yes, I would like that to be much more of a generality. But at the same time, I feel, like I said before, what is important is to have good storytelling, good writing, nuanced, uh, character building, and universe building, because that's really what pulls you in. And I would like to not feel the need to make that distinction between male centered films and female centered. Whatever the requirement of a storyline is what should be made. I also don't believe that women should be forced to tell only stories about women, or men should not be able to be allowed to tell stories about women or about men. It should kind of be a mix of everything. Everybody's voice, whatever resonates with them at a personal level, is what should be out there. And creativity as a whole should be the centerpiece of what we're promoting and what we're pushing to enhance and to grow.
Absolutely. Shahana, my last question to you before I let go of you, when you're talking about equality, there are also several testimonies and narratives that has come to fore from several regional film industries, especially from Kerala, from Mollywood. There is second spate of Me Too when the allegations of how they were harassed at workplace, sexual harassment cases. Do you think there is a need for a HEMA committee-like panel even in Bollywood mainstream media so that women feel safe when they are pursuing acting as a craft?
See, I think safety is something that is definitely very important. It is something which requires certain systems in place, and things like the Vishakha or the Hema movement. These are things that are important in the workplace to be able to create a structure. Because when your mindsets have not entirely changed and people's understandings of things are based on a larger community existence or phenomenon that exists in terms of a way of treating or a way of being or crossing the line and things, it is important to have that structure. So, yes, it's good to have that structure in place for everybody to have clarity on what is okay and what is not okay. But at the same time, the desire and the hope is that at a larger level, there's more conversation about it, and conversation from the perspective of expanding minds or changing mindsets across the board for men and women, because these are things where this exists, the phenomenon exists because of a larger systemic problem with the way we think, which includes the way sometimes women think as well about their own position, about their own being, about
Absolutely.
not being able to say no. So everybody needs to play their part to shift that dynamic. But yes, for starters, it is very important to maybe have things in place as a structure, as a system that allows for people to um, have the rules laid out for you to create that sense of safety for both the people, all the people involved, so that people are not mistakenly crossing a line, and women can feel safe being a part of a system and a space which is a workspace.
Absolutely. And a conducive, safe environment for women to pursue acting as a career, that can only happen when you open a process of dialogue. I'll wrap this conversation over here, but thank you, Shahana, for taking your time and joining us over here at Mirror Now. And we wish you well, and we are hoping to see Santosh soon.
Thank you so much, Samya. Thank you for having me here.